Hi everybody, it's Yasmin Boland here. Hope you're having a good day. I wanted to talk to you about the new moon eclipse that's coming up just in a couple of days actually. It's going to be taking place on July the 2nd. And it's kind of a big eclipse for me because I've got lots of exciting things happening, and I want to talk to you about something especially exciting that's happening that's in this box. Oh, hello, there's someone there. Who is there? Say hello if you're out there. Hopefully I can see your comments. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. So for those of you who haven't heard yet, I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live all about the new moon eclipse, which is in the sign of Moonchild, also known as Cancer. But what I'm really excited about is what we're going to do in the Facebook Live, which is basically we're going to meditate, we're going to make wishes, we're going to talk about the new moon eclipse itself, this one in particular, because it's opposite Saturn and Pluto, and we are going to make a crystal grid. Okay, so if you've never heard about crystal grids, I suggest you tune in. My mind's blown for crystal grids, and I've worked this week with two crystal experts. One is Rebecca De Bono in Malta, and one is Janelle Sharla in the UK. And what Rebecca did for me is she went through my book, Moonology, which you might have, and she looked at the messages for the new moon in Cancer, okay, also known as Moonchild. Hello, there's people joining. And so the things that are mentioned in Moonology by me are for the new moon or solar eclipse in Cancer, which is actually what we have this month. We have a solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer, Moonchild. It's a big, big deal, okay? So the five main points that I've kind of singled out are family time. It's a really good time to check in with your mum and dad, for example, see how they're going. If you haven't spent enough time with your nearest and dearest lately, it's time to fix that up. It's a time to banish insecurity, and, you know, Cancerians, moon children, are known to be quite insecure, and I had a beautiful explanation for this from master astrologer Rick Levine when he came onto my Hay House radio show a couple of months ago, and he was talking about, it was actually quite a few months ago now, because I think it was an eclipse, so it was probably 6 months ago. And he was talking about the fact that Cancerians, or the sign of Cancer or Moonchild, is super sensitive and insecure at times. Why? Because think of the crab, Cancer the crab, okay? Think of the crab. It lives under a rock at the seaside, okay? So whenever the tide flows in and out, it doesn't know what's coming next. It lives in this constant state of insecurity. So it kind of makes sense in a way that we associate Cancer or Moonchild with being such a super sensitive, if not even insecure sign. Okay, so one of the things that I've suggested in Moonology is it's a time to really work on your insecurity. Be honest with yourself about whether you're coming from a place of insecurity. And this doesn't matter what sign you are. It's just a really good time to check in. Consider the symbol of the crab. It's a little creature with a very hard shell that protects a soft and vulnerable underbelly. Okay, so there's that. Trisha's saying she's had a very challenging month. Yeah, well, you know, moon children have Saturn and Pluto in their opposite sign. It's a challenging time. This eclipse is going to be interesting for everybody, and what I'm giving you now is for everybody. But yeah, of course, for Capricorns and Cancerians in particular, it's big. Number 3, nurture, okay? Get in touch with your caring and nurturing side. Moonchild energy is very warm and cozy. Think of a lovely white-haired grandma with big boobs who holds you close when you're upset and whose cups of tea or hot chocolate make you feel much better, okay? Nurture yourself. You might not want to nurture yourself with hot chocolate. You might want to nurture yourself with you know, something else. It doesn't have to be hot chocolate, but look after yourself. Nurture yourself. Okay, make a promise to look after yourself now and in the next 6 months, because the eclipse lasts for 6 months, the effects. Review your goals, okay? Cancer is also one of the most dynamic and tenacious signs. Perhaps all that caring and nurturing leaves people more able to go out into the world and achieve. So this month, go back to your goals that you made for yourself at the start of the year, okay? What are your goals for the year ahead? And the fifth thing is bathe. I put that in there just because Cancerians love a good bath, and it's a really nice time to have a bath when the new moon in Cancer is taking place. One of the loveliest things to do on a Cancerian new moon is to have a lovely warm or hot bath, preferably by non-toxic candlelight. So they're the top tips for the new moon, which I will go into in more detail. But what I want to talk to you about now is this crystal grid that we're going to be making to go with the new moon, okay? And I've put it together with Rebecca's advice, coupled with the expertise of Janelle Sharla, who's a UK crystal expert of some renown. Can you see them? They're so pretty. They're all what they call tumble stones. They're like tumbled stones. They're all soft and round and gorgeous. So let's go through them. For family time, Rebecca has suggested, and by the way, I've got a very limited number of these sets to sell for a very good price, but I'm afraid only in the UK, okay? So if you're outside of the UK, we're going to try and do a wider distribution next month. But this month it's only in the UK because we can really only have a chance of getting them to you on time in the UK. But it doesn't matter where you are, you can order them online. They might not come in such a beautiful little box with stars in it that Janelle sent, but I'm sure they'll still be lovely. So let's go through, and we're going to be making a crystal grid. We probably won't use this. I think we're going to use the Flower of Life, but you know, you can print these out on the internet, and I'm going to supply you with one as well. So let's talk about a crystal grid. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a way of putting crystals together and then fixing them in the center with a quartz, a clear quartz crystal, and putting your intentions into the crystals, which is amazing if you want to really harness the power of the new moon to make your wishes, and especially if you're happy to do some real thinking about the issues connected with the new moon in Moonchild, okay, all the family, personal, domestic stuff. So let's go through the crystals, okay? So if you want to have a happier personal life, a happier home life, the crystal grid is for you. So the first crystal, I don't know if you can see the color there. It's tumbled stone. It's an amethyst, okay? Now, this is what Rebecca calls the master healer. She calls this the amethyst, the master healer. And it also clears blockages, which is great because, you know, basically blockages need to be cleared in order for families to get along. Let's face it, anyone who's still, you know, feeling blocked in themselves, it's going to be hard to have a good relationship with your mum or your dad or your siblings or your kids or whatever. Okay, the next one is actually one of my favorite stones. I'm pretty sure it's very good for communication. Probably can't see it very well. It's a blue lace agate. I just love them. I just think they're beautiful. I've just got this beautiful crystal necklace, but when I get another necklace, I think I'm probably going to get I think it's called, well, blue, let's just stick with blue lace agate necklace. So this one is for banish insecurity. And Rebecca says, this helps those who have difficulty being heard by others. Well, that's not me. I'm always talking, but it's good for communication. Who need confidence and articulation to share their truths. Okay, so that's a big one. Well, I'm drawn to it maybe for that reason. Who knows? It provides clarity of thought and unwavering intent. So that is going in our crystal grid this month. Because, you know, if you want to have good relationships in your private life, which is basically, you know, the fourth house, which relates to Cancer, you're going to have to banish insecurity and you're going to have good communication with people, okay? But it's very good as well, especially if you are intimidated by your parents, for example, or your in-laws. It's going to help people who have difficulty being heard. Okay, and next we have everybody's favorite, the rose quartz. Don't know if you can see that. You know, the rose quartz, it's a classic stone of nurturing and it heals old hurts. It's a stone of love. And what do you need for a good family life? You need love. Okay, so there's that one. And then now this is the next one. This is Carnelian. And it's funny because when I spoke to Janelle and I told her about the stones that Rebecca had come up with for me, she she loved them all, but she especially loved, well, she said, well, with Carnelian, I mean, there's just no other stone like that. It awakens hidden talents, stimulates ambition, eliminates fear and doubt, okay? So because, you know, this is halfway through the year, this is the time to really think about where am I with my goals? You know, how am I doing with them? So that's why we've included Carnelian. And finally, we have a really beautiful stone that's also, I think, going to go into my top favorites. It's called Labradorite. It sounds like Labrador, but it's Labradorite. It's very pretty. And this one is a blue energy and a wonderful stone, a stone of transformation, and particularly Labradorite is good in times of change. And that's what we have coming up in the eclipse, because you always get change when it's eclipse time. So they are the 5 stones. Let me see if I can show you again how gorgeous they are. They're all on this pretty bed. And we're going to put them onto our crystal grid, and we're going to put a quartz in the middle. And there's one other stone that I'm going to add, which I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet, but it is in, if you order these now, I mean, we really don't have many. I'll tell you how to order them in a second. But you will also get a 6th stone, because these are like the ones that you can use every year for the new moon in Cancer, the new moon in Moonchild, whatever you want to call it. But then what I want to do is I want to add this sort of wild card stone, which is just for this year, because this year the new moon eclipse is taking place opposite Saturn and Pluto, and that is not going to happen every single year. It makes it even more intense and powerful and worth working with. But I'm not going to tell you the crystal. You have to order this or wait for the Facebook Live, which I'm doing on July the 2nd, which is completely free, and I'd love to see you there. So let me tell you how to get one of the very, very few, we literally have very few of these. If you would like to, if you're new to crystals, you'll also get a crystal quartz to put in the middle, and we'll take you through all the instructions. If you'd like to order it, you just need to go to my website, yasminboland.com. I'll put the link below, and then like right up the top it says click here if you'd like to get your crystal kit for the new moon. And I'll be interested to see how many people tune into this. We will be putting together the grid in a most fantastic way, and I'll make sure if you order it that I send you a link to the gridding, so that even if you miss the live broadcast, you'll be able to catch up and get the crystals and do the grid. All right, so on that note, if you haven't signed up for the event yet, the Facebook Live event is actually going to be with Hay House USA this time, for the first time I've ever done one with them, so I hope it's going to go well. You can find that on my events page from here, Yasmin Boland and events, and then you can just register interest, and that means that, you know, we'll be able to send you reminders and so on. I'm very excited. I mean, I'm literally very excited. I haven't been this excited about anything for a very long time, and I hope you are too. Crystals, as you might know, it's said they've been used since Atlantean times, Atlantis, you know, which Plato talked about Atlantis, and as I keep saying, if it was good enough for Plato, it's good enough for me. And they are extremely powerful in terms of harnessing our intentions. It's all about intentions. And just a thing I don't think I mentioned as well, another thing Rebecca told me about this Carnelian, this Carnelian, which has just dropped to the ground. I can pick it up with my toes, I think. She said Carnelian is a really super duper, are you ready? It's a really super duper manifesting stone. So it's really good that it's going to be in our grid for the first of our new moon crystal grids. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to leave it there. I hope to see you for the Facebook Live on July the 2nd. And just a reminder, if you do want to be one of the very, very few people in the whole wide world who gets their hands on one of these beautiful little crystal grid kits, which I will show you how to use to harness your intentions, they're actually £19 and 99p. £19 and 99p, and that includes postage and packing. So we've made it as affordable as we can, and we can send them out all over the UK in the next kind of 24 to 48 hours, so you've got plenty of time to get them. And I'll be talking to you about how to cleanse them as well, because we're going to cleanse, charge and program them. Okay, it's a very exciting thing. All right, well, lots and lots of love. Remember, if you want to get the link, it's on the front page of my site, yasminboland.com, and it just says click here if you want to grab a crystal kit. All right, lots of love. Thanks for tuning in.